unsere Könige schmücken müssen, tragt sie hierher und dorthin, überspringt Zeiten, verwandelt die Errungenschaft vieler Jahre in ein Stundenglas. Um dies zu unterstützen, gestattet mir als Chor Zutritt zu dieser Geschichte, der ich wie ein Prolog um eure gnädige Geduld bitte, unser Spiel wohlwollend zu hören, gütig zu beurteilen. Was um alles in der Welt war das? Wieso bist du erst so spät rausgekommen? Was war das für ein Schrei? Was war das für ein Bellen? Das war nicht abgemacht, das waren nicht eure Cues. Habt ihr es nicht verstanden? Ja. Habt ihr nicht ins Skript geschaut? Wir haben gesagt, wir machen den Chorteil auf Deutsch. Okay, macht euch bereit für die erste Spielszene, ja? Erste Dialogszene. Ihr wisst, wir spielen Akt 1, Szene 3 aus As You Like It, wie es euch gefällt. Nicht, was ihr wollt. Nicht 12 Night, das haben wir schon gemacht, 2017. In dieser Szene geht es darum, dass der Duke seine Nichte Rosalind aus seinem Reich verbannt. Und Celia, Rosalinds Cousine, die Tochter des Dukes, liebt Rosalind sehr, hat großes Mitleid mit ihr und will mit ihr zusammen das Reich verlassen. Gemeinsam wollen sie nach Arden und sich als Männer verkleiden, um den Gefahren der Reise zu trotzen. Ich spiele in dieser ersten Szene nicht mit. Okay. Be truthful to your characters.
Mistress, dispatch you with your safest haste and get you from our court.
Me, uncle?
You, cousin! Within these 10 days, if thou beest found so near our public court as 20 miles, thou diest for it.
I do beseech your grace, let me the knowledge of my fault bear with me. If with myself I hold intelligence or have acquaintance with mine own desires, if that I do not dream or be not frantic, as I do trust I am not, then, dear uncle, never so much as in a thought unborn did I offend your highness.
Thus do all traitors. If their purgation did consist in words, they are as innocent as grace itself. Let it suffice that I trust thee not.
Yet your mistrust cannot make me a traitor. Tell me whereon the likelihoods depends.
Thou art thy father's daughter. There's enough.
So was I when your highness took his dukedom. So was I when your highness banished him. Treason is not inherited, my lord. Or if we did derive it from our friends, what's that to me? My father was no traitor. Then, good my liege, mistake me not so much. To thine my poverty is treacherous.
Dear sovereign, hear me speak.
Aye, Celia, we stayed her for your sake, else had she with her father ranged along.
I did not then entreat to have her stay. It was your pleasure and your own remorse. I was too young that time to valor her, but now I know her. If she be a traitor, why so am I? Still we have slept together, rose at an instant, learned, played, eat together, and wheresoever we went, like Juno's swans, still we went coupled and inseparable.
She is too subtle for thee. Her smoothness, her very silence, and her patience speak to the people, and they pity her. Thou art a fool. She robs thee of thy name, and thou wilt show more bright and seem more virtuous when she is gone. Then open not thy lips. Firm and irrevocable is my doom which I have passed upon her. She is banished.
Pronounce that sentence then on me, my liege. I cannot leave out of her company.
You are a fool! Eunice, provide yourself. If you outstay the time upon mine honor and in the greatness of my name, you die.
Oh, my poor Rosalie! Whither will thou go? Will thou change fathers? Oh, I give thee mine. I charge thee, be not thou more grieved than I am.
I have more cause.
Thou hast not, cousin. I pray thee, be cheerful. Knowest thou not that Duke hath banished me, his daughter?
That ye have not.
Ye have not. Rosalie lacks then the love that teacheth it now, and I am one. Shall we be sundered? Shall we part, sweet girl? No, let my father seek another heir. Therefore, devise with me how we may fly, whither to go, and what to bear with us. And do not seek to take your change upon you, and bear your griefs yourself, and leave me out. For by this heaven, now art our sorrows pale. Say what thou canst, I'll go along with thee.
Why, whither shall we go?
To seek my uncle in the forest of Arden.
Alas! What danger will it be to us maids as we are to travel forth so far? Beauty provoketh thieves sooner than gold.
I'll put myself in a poor and mean attire, and with a kind of amber smirch my face, belike to you. So we'll pass along and never stir assailants.
Were it not better, because that I am more than common tall, that I did suit me all points like a man? A gallant cataract upon my thigh, a boar spear up my hip, and in my heart lie there what hidden women fear their will. We'll have a swashing and a marshal outside, as many other managed cowards have that do outface it with their semblances.
What shall I call thee when thou art a man?
I'll have no worse a name than Jove's own page. Therefore look, you call me Ganymede. But what will you be called?
Something that hath a reference to my state. No longer Celia, but Aliena!
But cousin, what if we essay to steal the clownish fool out of your father's court? Would he not be a comfort to our travels?
Oh, you go along o'er the wide world with me. Leave me alone to woo him. Let's away and get our jewels and our wealth together, devise the fittest time and safest way to hide us from pursuit that would be made after my flight. Now go and be content to liberty and not to punishment.
Sehr schön. Okay, das war ein kleiner Vorgeschmack. Falls Ihnen das gefallen hat, Shakespeare Frankfurt wird das komplette Stück kommenden Sommer im Botanischen Garten in Frankfurt aufführen. Nächste Szene, wir brauchen den Tisch und wir brauchen die Stühle. Wir spielen nun aus Akt 1, Szene 4 von Cymbeline.
Cymbeline? Is that the little person?
Nein, nicht Thumbelina, Cymbeline.
Oh.
Cymbeline ist ein Mann, König. Wir brauchen Tisch, wir brauchen eine kleine Bar-Szene. Okay, dieses Stück ist nicht so bekannt, ja? Deswegen müssen wir die fragwürdige Wette, um die es darum geht, gut herausarbeiten. Es geht darum, dass der gewiefte Italiener Giacomo im Beisein seiner Freunde Franz und Philario darum wettet, dass er die Geliebte des Briten Postumus verführen kann, der sich in Italien im Exil befindet und behauptet, sie lässt sich von niemandem verführen, sie ist ihm treu ergeben. Okay, wo ist der Ring, den
Leone.
It's not my problem.
Ich hatte ihn in meiner Hosentasche. Okay. Sense of urgency.
Believe it, sir. I've seen him in Britain. He was then of a crescent note, expected to prove so worthy as he has since been allowed the name of. But I could then have looked on him without the help of admiration, though a catalogue of his endowments had been tabled by his side, and I to peruse him by items.
You speak of him when he was less furnished than now he is, with that which makes him both without and within.
I have seen him in France. We had very many that could behold the sun with as firm eyes as he.
And this matter of marrying his king's daughter, wherein he must be weighed more by her value than his own, worths him, I doubt not, a great deal from the matter.
And then his banishment.
His father and I were soldiers together, to whom I have been often bound for no less than my life. Here comes the Briton. Let him be entertained amongst you, as suits with gentlemen of your knowing to a stranger of his quality. I beseech you, be better known to this gentleman, whom I commend to you as a noble friend of mine. How worthy he is, I will live to appear hereafter, rather than story him in his own hearing.
Sir, we have known together in Orleans.
since when I've been debtor to you for courtesies, which I will be ever to pay, and yet pay still.
Oh, sir, you orate my poor kindness. I was glad I did atone my countryman and you. It had been pity you should have been put to arms upon so mortal a purpose as then each bore, upon importance of so slight and trivial a nature.
By your pardon, sir, I was then a young traveller, rather shunned to go even with what I heard than in my every action to be guided by others' experiences. But upon my mended judgment, if I offend not to say it is mended, my quarrel was not altogether slight.
Faith, yes, to be put to the arbitrament of swords, and by such two who, by all likelihood, would have confounded one the other, or have fallen both.
Can we with manners ask what was the difference?
Safely, I think. 'Twas a contention in public, which may without contradiction suffer the report. It was much like an argument that fell out last night, where each of us fell in praise of our country mistresses. This gentleman at that time vouching, upon warrant of bloody affirmation, his to be more fair, virtuous, chaste, constant, qualified, and less attemptable than any the rarest of our ladies in France.
That lady is not now living, or this gentleman's opinion by this worn out.
She holds her virtue still, and I my mind.
But you must not so far prefer her for ours of Italy.
Being so far provoked as I was in France, I would abate her nothing, though I profess myself her adorer, not her friend.
As fair and as good, a kind of hand-in-hand comparison, it is something too fair and too good for any lady of Britain if she went before others. I have seen as that diamond of yours outlusters others I have beheld. I could not believe she excelled many. But I have not seen the most prettiest diamond that is, nor you the lady.
I praised her as I rated her, so do I my stone.
What do you esteem it at?
More than the world enjoys.
Either your own paragon mistress is dead, or she's outprized by a trifle.
You are mistaken. The one may be sold or given, if there were wealth enough for the purchase, or merit for the gift. The other is not a thing for sale, and only the gift of the gods,
Which the gods have given you.
which by their graces I will keep.
You may wear her and title yours, but you know, strange fellow light upon neighboring ponds. Your ring may be stolen too, so your brace of unprizable estimations. The one is but frail, the other casual. A cunning thief, or a that way accomplished courtier, would hazard the winning both of first and last.
Your Italy contains none so accomplished a courtier to convince the honor of my mistress. If in the holding or loss of that you term her frail, I do nothing doubt you have store of thieves, notwithstanding I fear not my ring.
Let us leave here, gentlemen.
Sir, with all my heart, this worthy signor, I thank him, makes no stranger of me. We are familiar at first.
With 5 times so much conversation, I should get ground of your fair mistress. Make her go back, even to the yielding. Had I admittance and opportunity to friend?
No. No.
I dare thereupon lay the moiety of my estate to your ring, which in my opinion or value is some. But I make my wager rather against your confidence than her opinion, or reputation. And to bar your offense hereunto, I durst attempt it against any lady in the world.
You are a great deal abused in too bold a persuasion, and I doubt not you sustain what you're worthy of by your attempt.
What's that?
A repulse, though your attempt, as you call it, deserved more. A punishment too.
Gentlemen, enough of this. Came in too suddenly, let it die as it was born, and I pray you be better acquainted.
I would I had put my estate and my neighbors on that probation would I have spoke.
What lady would you choose to assail?
Yours, whom in constancy you think stands so safe. I will pay you 10,000 ducats to your ring, that commend me to the court where your lady is, with no more advantage than the opportunity of a second conference. And I will bring from thus that honor of hers which you imagine so reserved.
I will wage against your gold to it. My ring, I hold dear as my finger, 'tis part of it.
You are a friend, and therein the wiser. If you buy lady's flesh at $1,000,000 a dram, you cannot preserve it from tainting. Ma'am, But I see you have some religion in you that you fear.
This is but a custom in your tongue. You bear a graver purpose, I hope.
I am the master of my speeches and would undergo what's spoken. I swear.
Will you? I shall but lend my diamond till you return. Let there be covenant strong between us. My mistress exceeds in goodness the hugeness of your unworthy thinking. I dare you to this match. Here's my ring.
I will have it no late.
By the gods, it is one. If I bring you no sufficient testimony that I have enjoyed the dearest bodily part of your fair mistress, my 10,000 ducats are yours. So is your diamond. If I come off and leave her in such honor as you have trust in, she, this your jewel, and my gold are yours, provided I have your commendation for my more free entertainment.
I embrace these conditions. Let us have articles betwixt us. Only thus far you shall answer. If you make your voyage upon her, and give me directly to understand you have prevailed, I am no further your enemy. She's not worthy our debate. If she remain unseduced, you not making it appear otherwise, for your ill opinion and the assault that you have made to her chastity, you shall answer me with your sword.
Your hand. A covenant! We will have these things set down by lawful counsel and straight away for Britain, lest the bargain should catch cold and starve. I will fetch my gold and have our 2 wagers recorded.
Agreed.
Will this hold, think you?
Signor Iachimo will not from it. Pray let us fall on.
Okay, Tisch weg, Stühle weg. Wir machen weiter mit. Wir machen weiter mit Akt 4, Szene 3 aus Winter's Tale, dem Wintermärchen. Nur 2 Charaktere tauchen in dieser Szene auf. Da ist zum einen der raffinierte Dieb Autolycus, der einem simplen Clown begegnet, der Lebensmittel einkauft für ein Fest zu Ehren der geschworenen Schafe und beschließt, diesen auszurauben. Oh nein. Du spielst nicht Autolycus.
Güneş.
We're going to a different direction, so...
Plagam kann ich.
wir brauchen jemanden, der singen kann. Du kannst singen. Du kannst den Text.
Call your agent.
Gut, du bist Autolycus. Wärm deine Stimme auf. Du musst gleich singen. Okay, das reicht.
When daffodils begin to peer with high the doxy or the dale, why then comes in the sweet of the year, where the red blood reigns in winter's pale. The lark that tear a lyra chants, with high the thrush and lay, our summer songs for me and my aunts as we lie tumbling in the hay. I have served Prince Florizel, and in my time wore 3 pile, but now I am out of service. But shall I go mourn for that, my dear? The pale moon shines by night, for when I wander here and there, I then do most go right. My traffic is sheets, when the kite builds look to lesser linen. My father named me Autolycus, who being as I am littered under Mercury, was likewise a snapper-up of unconsidered trifles. With dye and drab I have purchased this caparison, and my revenue is the silly cheat. Gallows and knock are too powerful on the highway. Beating and hanging are terrors to me. For the life to come, I sleep out the thought of it. A prize. A prize.
Let me see. Every 11 weathered tarts, every tart yields pound and not shilling. 1,500 shorn. What comes the wool to?
If the springe holds, the cock's mind.
Oh, I cannot do it without counters. Let me see. What am I to buy for our sheep shearing feast? 3 pound of sugar, 5 pound of currants, rye. What will this sister of mine do with rice? But my father hath made her mistress of the feast, and she lays it on. She hath made me 24 nosegays for the shearers. 3-man songmen all, and very good ones. But they're most of them means and bases. But one Puritan amongst them, and he sings psalms to hornpipes. I must have saffron to colour the warden pies, maize, dates, none. Well, that's out of my note. Nutmegs, 7. A race or 2 of ginger. Oh, but then I may back. 4 pound of prunes, and as many of raisins of the sun.
Oh, that ever I was born!
Oh, in the name of me!
Oh, help me, help me! Pluck but off these rags and then dab, dab.
Oh, alack, poor soul! Thou hast need of more rags to lay on thee rather than have these off.
Oh, sir! The loathsomeness of them offend me more than the stripes I have received, which are mighty ones and millions.
Alas, poor man, 1,000,000 of beating may come to a great matter.
Oh, I am robbed, sir, and beaten. My money and apparel ta'en from me, and these detestable things put upon me.
What, by a horseman or a footman?
A footman, sweet sir, a footman.
Indeed, he should be a footman, by the garments he has left with thee. If this be a horseman's coat, it has seen very hot service. Lend me thy hand, I'll help thee. Come, lend me thy hand.
Oh, good sir, tenderly. Oh, good sir, thank you.
Alas, poor soul.
Oh, good sir, softly. I fear, sir, my shoulder blade is out. You have done me a charitable office.
Hannah, can't stand?
No.
Dost like any money? I have a little money for thee.
Good sir, I do beseech you. I have a kinsman, not past 3/4 of a mile hence on to whom I was going. I shall there have money and anything I want. Offer me no money, I pray you. That kills my heart.
What manner of fellow was he that robbed you?
A fellow, sir, that I have known to go about with trollmadames. I knew him once a servant of the prince. I cannot tell you, good sir, for which of his virtues it was, but he was certainly whipped out of the court.
His vices, you would say. There's no virtue whipped out of the court. They cherish it to make it stay there, and yet it will no more but abide.
Vices, I would say, sir. I know this man well. He hath been since an 8-bearer, then a process server, a bailiff, and then he'd come past a motion of the prodigal son and married a tinker's wife, within a mile where my land and living lies, and having flown over many a knavish profession, settled only in rogue. Some call him Autolycus.
Out upon him, prick! For my life, prick! He haunts wakes, fairs, and bear-baitings.
Very true, sir. He, sir, he. That's the rogue that put me into this apparel.
Not a more cowardly rogue in all Bohemia. If you had but looked big and spit at him, he would have run.
I must confess to you, sir, I am no fighter. I am false of heart that way, and that he knew, I warrant him.
How do you now?
Oh, very well, sir. I can stand and walk. I shall e'en take my leave of you and pace softly towards my kinsman.
Shall I bring thee on the way?
No, good face, sir, no sweet sir.
Then fare thee well. I must go buy spices for our sheep shear.
Ha! Prosper you, sweet sir. Your purse is not hot enough to purchase your spice. I'll be with you at your sheep shearing too. if I make not this cheat bring out another, and the shearers prove sheep. Let me be unrolled, and my name put in the book of virtues. When daffodils begin to peel with high the doxy or the dale.
This is not in my contract. Clearly, our eminent director requires a bit more time, and so I shall introduce you to our next scene. We return once more to Henry V Monologue.
Okay, wir machen weiter mit Heinrich V, dem zweiten Teil unseres Chorus, mit Teilen aus Akt 2 und Akt 3.
I had it.
Okay, back to black, everyone. Hier ein bisschen mehr Konzentration. Okay?
Who's talking?
Nun ist die ganze Jugend Englands voller Feuer und seidene Tändelei liegt in der Kleiderkammer. Nun gedeihen die Waffenschmiede und der Gedanke der Ehre regiert allein in der Brust jedes Mannes. Der König ist von London aufgebrochen und die Szene ist nun verlegt, Edle, nach Southampton. Dort ist nun das Spielhaus, dort müsst ihr sitzen. Und von da aus werden wir euch sicher nach Frankreich geleiten und euch wieder zurückbringen, die enge See verzaubern, um euch sanfte Überfahrt zu geben. Denn falls wir dürfen, werden wir nicht einen Magen mit unserem Spiel verderben. Aber bis der König auftritt und nicht vorher, verlegen wir unser Spiel nach Southampton. Und so fliegt unsere schnelle Szene mit gedachtem Flügel in einer Bewegung von nicht geringerer Geschwindigkeit als der des Gedankens. Than that of thought. Thought. Suppose that you have seen the well-appointed king at Hampton Pier embark his royalty and his brave fleet with silken streamers the young Phoebus fanning. Play with your fancies, and in them behold, upon the Hampton tackle, shipboys climbing. Hear the shrill whistle, which doth order give to sounds confused. Behold the threatened sails, borne with the invisible and creeping wind, draw the huge bottoms through the furrowed sea, breasting the lofty surge. Oh, do but think you stand upon the rivage and behold the city on the inconstant billows dancing. So appears this fleet majestical, holding due course to Harfleur. Follow, follow! Grapple your minds to sternage of this navy, and leave your England as that midnight. Still, work! Work your thoughts, and therein see a siege. Behold ordnance on their carriages, with fatal mouths gaping on girded Harfleur. Suppose the ambassador from the French consulate tells Harry that the king doth offer him Catherine his daughter, and with her to dowry some petty and unprofitable ducats. The offer likes not, and the nimble gunner with linstock now the devilish cannon touches. Aufruhr, Kanonen gehen los.
Boom.
Boom!
And down goes all before them. Still, be kind and eke out our performance with your mind. Tisch und...
Well, look at me when you say that.
Okay, jetzt müsst ihr euch zusammenreißen, okay? Jetzt wird's ernst. Wir sprechen ernste Themen an. Es geht um Menschenhandel. Es geht um Prostitution. Wir spielen aus Perikles, Prinz von Tyrus, Akt 4, Szene 2. Das hier ist das Bordell von Pander und Board, die sogleich ihren Assistenten Bolt losschicken, neue Damen für ihr Etablissement heranzuschaffen. Und dieser bringt sogleich die zarte, unschuldige Jungfrau Marina herbei, die ihre Familie auf hoher See... Ja.
Haide, να πάρεις κάποιον να κάνεις τη δουλειά. Haide.
Raise the stakes. Bolt!
Sir?
Search the market narrowly. Mitylene is full of gallons. We lost too much money this month by being too wenchless.
We were never so much out of creatures. We have but poor 3, and they can do no more than they can do, and they, with continual action, they're even as good as rotten.
Therefore, let's have fresh ones. Whatever we pay for them. If there be not a conscience to be used in every trade, we shall never prosper.
Thou sayest true. It is not our bringing up of poor bastards, as I think I brought up some 11?
Aye, to 11, and brought them down again. But shall I go search the market?
What else, man? The stuff we have, a strong wind would blow it to pieces. They are so pitifully sodden.
Thou sayest true.
But I'll go search the market.
3,000 or 4,000 check-ins were as pretty a proportion to live quietly and so give over.
Why to give over, I pray you? Is it a shame to get when we are old?
Now our credit comes not in like the commodity, nor the commodity wages not with the danger. Therefore, if in our youth we could pick up some pretty estate, 'twere not amiss to keep our door hatched. Besides, the sore terms we stand upon with the gods will be strong with us for giving over.
Our mother's sorts offend as well as we.
As well as we? Aye, and better too. We offend worse. Neither is our profession any trade. It's no calling. But here comes Bolt.
Come your ways. Master, I've gone through for this piece, you see. If you like her so, if not, I have lost my earnest.
Bold? Has she any qualities?
Well, she has a good face, speaks well, and has most excellent good clothes. There's no further necessity of qualities that can make her be refused.
What's her price, Bold?
I cannot be baited 1 doit of 1,000 pieces.
Wife, take her in. Instruct her what she has to do, that she may not be raw in her entertainment.
Bold, take you the marks of her, the color of her hair, complexion, height, her age, with warrant of her virginity, and cry, "He that will give most shall have her first." Such a maidenhead were no cheap thing if men were what they have been. Get this done as I command you.
Performance shall follow.
Alack, that Leonine was so slack, so slow. He should have struck, not spoke.
Why lament you, pretty one?
That I am pretty.
Come, the gods have done their part in you.
I accuse them not.
You're light into my hands where you're like to live.
The more my fault to escape his hands where I was like to die.
Aye, and you shall live in pleasure.
No.
Oh, yes, indeed shall you, and taste gentlemen of all fashions. You shall fare well. You shall have the difference of all complexions. What? Do you stop your ears?
Are you a woman?
What would you have me be, and I be not a woman?
An honest woman or not a woman?
Marry, whip the gosling! I think I have something to do with you. Come. You're a young, foolish sapling, and must be bowed as I would have you.
The gods defend me!
If it please the gods to defend you by men, then men must comfort you. Men must feed you. Men stir you up. Ah, Bold's returned. Now, sir, hast thou cry her through the market?
I have cried her almost to the number of her hairs. I have drawn her picture with my voice.
And I prithee tell me, how dost thou find the inclination of the people, especially of the younger sort?
Oh, your faith, they listen to me as they would have hearkened to their father's testament. There's a Spaniard's mouth watered, and he went to bed of very description.
He'll come tomorrow with his best ruff on.
Oh, nay, tonight. But, mistress, do you know the French knight that cowers in the hams?
Who, Monsieur Verolus?
He offered to cut a caper at the proclamation, but he made a groan at it and swore he would see her tomorrow.
Well, as for him, he brought his disease hither. Here he does but repair it. I know he'll come in our shadow to scatter his crowns of the sun.
Well, if we had of every nation a traveler, we should lodge them with this sign.
Pray you. You have fortunes coming upon you. Mark me. You must seem to do that fearfully which you commit willingly. Despise profit where you have most gain. To whip that ye live as ye do makes pity in your lovers. Seldom but that pity begets a good opinion, and that opinion a mere profit.
I understand you not.
Oh, take her home, mistress. Take her home. These blushes of hers must be quenched with some present practice.
Thou sayest true, i' faith, so they must. For your bride goes to that with shame, which is her way to go with warrant.
Well, some do and some do not. But, mistress, if I have bargained for the joint,
You may cut a morsel of the spit.
I may so.
Who should deny it? Come, young one, I like the manner of your garments well.
Aye, by my faith, they shall not be changed yet.
Bolt, report what the sojourner we have. You lose nothing by custom. When nature framed this piece, she made thee a good turn. Therefore say what a paragon she is, and thou hast the harvest out of thine own report.
I warrant you, mistress, Thunder shall not so awaken the beds of eels as my giving out her beauty stirs up the lewdly inclined. I'll bring home some tonight.
Come your ways. Follow me.
If fires be hot, knives sharp, or waters deep, untried, I still my virgin not shall keep. Diana, aid my purpose.
What have we to do with Diana? Freya, will you go with us?
Okay, sind noch alle da? Gut. Jetzt wird es wieder etwas leichter. Tisch weg. Wir spielen nun Akt 2. Szene 2. Aus Teil 1 von Heinrich IV. In dieser Szene sehen wir einen richtigen Raubüberfall und wir sehen den jungen Henry, Prinz Henry, manche sagen auch Hal oder Harry. Es ist der gleiche Henry, von dem auch in den Chorusteilen bei Heinrich V die Rede ist, aber er ist noch ein junger Spund, zusammen mit seinen Kumpels, eine richtige Räuberbande. Points.
Κανένα βοηθό δεν μπορούσες να πάρεις. Άντε πάλι όλα τα ίδια. Άντε εγώ κάντε να κάνω στις δουλειές. Άιντε, πάμε, άιντε, άιντε.
Ich hab dir gesagt, ich spreche kein Griechisch.
Να μάθεις. Έλα.
Gadshill, Points und Henry zusammen mit dem dicken Trunkenbold Sir John Falstaff. Zunächst haben sie sein Pferd versteckt und als nächstes beschließen sie, einige Reisende auszurauben und dann im Anschluss ihn selbst auszurauben. Breathe, breathe. Breath is everything.
Come, shelter, shelter! I have removed Falstaff's horse and he frets like a garment velvet.
Points. Points. And be hanged, Points.
Peace, ye fat-kidneyed rascal! What a brawling dost thou keep?
What Points, Al?
He's gone up to the top of the hill. I'll go seek him.
I'm accursed to rob in that thief company. That rascal's removed my horse and tied him I know not where. If I travel with 4 foot by the square further afoot, I shall break my wind. Well, I doubt not but to die a fair death for all this, if I escape hanging for killing that rogue. I have forsworn his company hourly any time this 22 year, yet I am bewitched with the rogue's company. If the rascal had not given me medicines to make me love him, I'll be hanged. But could not be else. I've drunk medicines. Points? Hell? A plague bind you both. Ooh. I'll rob ere I'll starve ere I rob a foot further. A plague upon when thieves cannot be true to one another. plague light upon you all. Give my horse, you rogues. Give me my horse and be hanged.
Peace, you fat guts! Lie down. Lay thine ear close to the ground and list if you can hear the tread of travellers.
Have you any livers to lift me up again, being down? I'll not bear my own flesh so far afoot again for all the coin in our father's exchequer. What a plague mean ye to court me thus?
Thou liest. Thou art not culted, thou art uncultured.
I prithee, good Prince Harry, help me to my horse, good king's son.
Out, you rogue, shall I be your ostler?
Ugh! Go hang thyself in thine own heir apparent garters. If I pertain, I'll peach for this, and have I not ballads made on all and sung to filthy tunes? Let a cup of sack be my poison. When the justice so forward and a foot too, I hate it.
Stand!
So I do, against my will.
Oh, it is our setter. I know his voice.
Casey.
What news?
Casey, on with your visits. There's money of the king's coming down the hill. 'Tis going to the king's exchequer.
Oh, you lie, you rogue. 'Tis going to the king's tavern.
There's enough to make us all.
To be hanged.
You shall front them in the narrow lane. Ned and I will walk lower. If they should escape from your encounter, then they light on us.
But how many be of them?
Some 8 or 10.
Will they not rob us?
What?
A coward? Sir John Punch?
Indeed, I am not John of Gaunt, your grandfather, but yet no coward, hell.
We'll leave that to the proof.
Sirrah Jack, your horse stands behind the hedge. When thou needst him, there thou shalt find him. Farewell then, stand fast.
Now cannot I strike him if I should be hanged?
Ned, where are our disguises?
Here, hard by, stand close.
Come, my masters, happy man be his dole, say I. Every man do his business.
Come, neighbor. The boy shall lead our horses down the hill. We'll walk afoot a while and ease our legs.
Stay! Jesus bless us! Strike down with them! Flee! Cut the villains' throats! A horse on caterpillar! Bacon fat knaves! They hate us, youth! Down with them! Flee, stand up!
Oh, we are undone, both we and ours forever!
Hang ye, gore-bellied knaves! Are ye undone? No! Ye fat chuffs! I would your straw were here! On, Bacons, on! What, ye fat chuffs? Young men must live! Oh, your grandeurs, are ye? I will jure ye faith.
The thieves have bound the true men. Now could thou and I rob the thieves and go merrily to London. It would be argument for a week, laughter for a month, and a good jest forever.
Stand close, I hear them coming.
Come, masters, let us share in them the horse before day. And the prince and points be not two erring cowards, there's no equity stirring. There's no more valor in that points than the wild duck.
Young got with much ease. Now merrily to horse. The thieves have scattered, and possessed with fear so strongly that they dare not meet each other. Each takes his fellow for an officer. Ah, way good Ned. Falstaff sweats to death and lards the lean earth as he walks along. Were not for laughing, I should pity him.
How the rogue roared!
Okay. Als letzte Dialog-Spielszene eine kleine Verwechslungskomödie, die Komödie der Irrungen, the Comedy of Errors. Akt 3, Szene 2. In dieser Komödie haben wir den wohlhabenden Antipholus von Syracuse,
Antipholus από τις Σιρακούσες.
der zusammen mit seinem Diener Dromio von Syracuse
Δρόμιος από τις Σιρακούσες.
auf Ephesus gelandet ist,
Έφεσος.
wo sie jeweils einen Zwilling haben, von dem sie nichts wissen. Und Dromio ist soeben der Ehefrau seines Zwillings begegnet, Nell, einer sehr korpulenten, unansehnlichen Dame, und hat vor ihr sogleich Reißaus genommen.
Περιμένουν οι άνθρωποι, περιμένουν. Why, hello, Dromio. Where runs thou so fast?
Do you know me? Am I Dromio? Am I your man? Am I myself?
Thou art Dromio, thou art my man, thou art thyself.
I'm an ass. I'm a woman's man, and besides myself.
What woman's man, and how besides thyself?
Mary, besides myself, I'm due to a woman. One that claims me. One that haunts me. One that will have me.
What claim lays she to thee?
Mary, such claim as you would lay to your horse, and she would have me as a beast. Not that I, being a beast, she would have me, but that she, being a very beastly creature, lays claim to me.
What is she?
A very reverend body. Aye, such a one as a man may not speak of. I have but lean knock in the match, and yet is she a wondrous fat marriage.
Oh, how does thou mean a fat marriage?
Mary, she's the kitchen wench, and all grease. And I know not what use to put her to, but to make a lamp of her and run from her by her own light. I warrant her rags and the tallow in them will burn a Poland winter. If she lives till doomsday, she'll burn a week longer than the whole world.
What's her name?
Nell. But her name and 3/4, that's an L and 3/4, will not measure her from hip to hip.
Then she bears some breadth.
Oh, no longer from head to foot, than from hip to hip. She is spherical, like a globe. I could find out countries in her.
Ooh. In what part of her body stands Ireland?
Mary in her buttocks. I found it out by the bogs.
Where Scotland?
I found it by the Baroness, hard in the palm of the hand.
Where France?
In her forehead, armed and reverted, making war against her hair.
Where England?
I looked for the chalky cliffs, but I could find no whiteness in them. But I guess it stood in her chin, by the salt room that ran between France and it.
Where Spain?
Faith, I saw it not, but I felt it hot in her breath.
Where America, the Indies?
Oh, upon her nose, all o'er-embellished with rubies, carbuncles, sapphires, declining their rich aspect to the hot breath of Spain, who sent whole armadas of carracks to be ballast at her nose.
Oh, where stood Belgium, the Netherlands?
Oh, I did not look so low. To conclude, this drudge or diviner laid claim to me, called me Dromio, swore I was assured to her, told me what privy marks I had about me, as the mark of my shoulder, the mole in my neck, the great wart on my left arm, that I amazed ran from her as a witch. And I think, if my breast had not been made of faith and my heart of steel, she had transformed me to a curdle dog and made me turn in the wheel.
Go hide thee presently, post to the road, and if the wind blow any way from shore, I will not harbor in this town tonight. If everyone knows us and we know none, 'tis time, I think, to trudge, pack, and begun.
As from a bear a man would run for life, so fly I from her that would be my wife.
Bah!
Finale. Okay, noch einmal Heinrich V, noch einmal Akt 4 und Akt 5 des Chorus. Okay. Mach hin. Okay. Nun stellt euch eine Zeit vor, wenn kriechendes Murmeln und das spähende Dunkel das weite Gefäß des Universums füllen. Von Lager zu Lager, durch den üblen Schoß der Nacht. Ertönt ruhig das Summen einer jeden Armee, sodass die aufgestellten Wachtposten fast das heimliche Flüstern der Wache des anderen hören. Oh, now, who will behold the royal captain of this ruined band, walking from watch to watch, from tent to tent? How dread an army hath enrounded him. And so our scene must to the battle fly, where, oh, for pity, we shall much disgrace, with 4 or 5 most vile and ragged foils, right ill-disposed and brawl ridiculous, the name of Agincourt. Yet sit and see, minding true things by what their mockeries be. Vouchsafe to those that have not read the story, that I may prompt them. And of such as have, I humbly pray them to admit the excuse of time, of numbers, and due course of things, which cannot in a huge and proper life be here presented. Now we bear the king toward Calais. Grant him there seen, heave him away upon your winged thoughts, across the sea. Behold the English beach pales in the flood, with men, with wives and boys, whose shouts and claps out the voice, the deep-mouthed sea, which like a mighty whip-flap, for the king seems to prepare his way. So, let him land, and solemnly see him set on to London. But now behold, in the quick forge and working house of thought, how London doth pour out his citizens. The mayor and all his brethren invest sort, like to the senators of the antique Rome, with the plebeians swarming at their heels, go forth and fetch their conquering sea therein. How many would the peaceful city quit to welcome him? Well, much more. Stop. Leave. Bringt ihn nun nach London. Dann noch das Wehklagen der Franzosen, den Verbleib des Königs von England zu Hause, das Kommen des Kaisers auf Wunsch von Frankreich, um Frieden zwischen ihnen zu stiften, nahelegt. Und übergeht alle Ereignisse, welcher Art sie auch seien, bis zu Harrys erneuter Rückkehr nach Frankreich. Dahin müssen wir ihn bringen. Und ich selbst habe die Zwischenzeit überspielt, indem ich euch daran erinnere, dass sie vergangen ist. Dann nehmt die Abkürzung in Kauf und lasst eure Augen nach euren Gedanken geradewegs wieder zurück nach Frankreich weiterwandern. Soweit hat mit rauer und gänzlich unfähiger Feder unser sich verneigender Autor die Geschichte verfolgt. Dieser Stern von England. Fortuna machte sein Schwert, durch das er den schönsten Garten der Erde gewann und seinen Sohn als fürstlichen Herrscher davon hinterließ, Heinrich VI., in Windeln zum König von Frankreich und England gekrönt. Lasst dies in euren edlen Gedanken Zustimmung finden.